Marketing Myopia by Theodore Levitt is one of the most widely read articles in the Harvard Business Review. The term marketing myopia was coined by Levitt, a professor at Harvard Business School. Marketing myopia was published in the Harvard Business Review in 1960. That's a long time ago, but the article is generally recognized as shaping the way we understand marketing today. The article is well written and very interesting to read. Some of the examples are a little out of date, but the fundamental ideas in the article are still relevant today. The profound truths in marketing myopia make it well worth studying. Myopia is a strange word. It's not a word I use in my everyday life. But what does it mean, and why is it used in this article about marketing? Myopia is a visual defect in which distant objects appear as blurs because their images are focused on the wrong part of the eye. It's being nearsighted. This article is not about visual defects. In this article, myopia refers to the lack of discernment of long-range perspective in thinking or planning. The theme of the article is that many companies are focused on the wrong thing. They're focused on product and producing products, and they don't spend enough time trying to understand what consumers really want. Levitt wanted companies to shift from a product-oriented view to a consumer-oriented view. Some commentators have suggested that this article marked the beginning of the modern marketing movement. Levitt wanted executives to change their orientation from being product-oriented to being consumer-oriented. He said customers don't want quarter-inch drills, they want quarter-inch holes. In other words, people don't actually want products. What they want is what the products will do for them. This means that your product is not your business. Your business is developing products that will satisfy consumer wants. Levitt thought that the vision of most organizations is too constricted by a narrow understanding of what business they're in. But what about growth industries? If you're in a growth industry, do you still need to focus on consumer needs? Why not just produce products that are growing? Is there an industry that's so advanced that their products will automatically be successful? What about something like artificial intelligence, or electric automobiles, or autonomous vehicles, maybe wireless communication, social networks, or the internet? Are industries like these different from other industries? It turns out that every major industry was once a growth industry. At one point, the railroad industry was a growth industry. So were telephones, automobiles, radio, airplanes, air conditioning, television, and cell phones. In fact, there's no such thing as a permanent growth industry. So here's an interesting question. Why do growth industries and companies in them eventually stop growing? Is it because the market is saturated, or is there just too much competition? Or how about technological innovation? One of the provocative ideas in this article is that growth slows because of a failure of top management. Time and time again, successful companies thought their success was because of their superior products. If there does not appear to be an effective substitute for the superior product you're producing, it's tempting to believe that growth will be automatic. In truth, there's no such thing as a permanent growth industry. There are only companies organized and operated to create and take advantage of perhaps temporary growth opportunities. In other words, there's no magic growth escalator that you can ride to easy success. Four conditions lead unsuspecting executives to fall prey to a self-deceiving cycle of expansion followed by unexpected decay. Four conditions lead to this self-deceiving cycle. First is the population myth. This is the confident belief that growth will occur because of a growing economy. We're part of the economy, so we'll grow along with it. If thinking is an intellectual response to a problem, what happens when you don't think there's a problem? Well, you don't think about it, and you don't think about how to grow. You get a little lazy and become vulnerable to a company that's more innovative and aggressive. Second is the idea of indispensability. This is the overconfident belief that there is no substitute for your product. Third is the focus on being very efficient in producing your product. Efficiency is good, but it does not mean that it guarantees success. Finally is the dangers of research and development. Too often this leads to obsession with current products and current technology, and failing to see broad shifts in how consumers fill their needs. Look around and you'll see dozens of examples of obsolete or almost obsolete products that were once successful. Many of these were once in growth industries. For example, several decades ago, typewriters were very successful, and IBM was a market leader in the office typewriter market. Slide rules, a product you've probably never heard about, were analog calculators. All engineering students and scientists use them to make complex calculations. The list goes on. VCR tapes, pagers, floppy disks, newspapers, books, not obsolete but certainly not growing, photograph film, wristwatches, television, digital cameras, landline telephones, gasoline engines, not obsolete but Tesla and others are trying. Laptop computer sales have reached a peak and started to decline. Telephone books. Fundamentally, businesses succeed because they can profitably satisfy customers. This means that a business should be a customer-satisfying process. This puts the focus on consumer needs and understanding those needs. Technology is important, but it has to be technology that increases customer satisfaction. Once again, consumers normally don't want products. They want what the product can do for them. I don't buy gasoline because I want gasoline. I don't put it in a glass jar and place it on my mantle so I can look at it. I buy gasoline so I can have the freedom of being mobile. If a practical, affordable alternative existed, I might be very willing to stop buying gasoline. The Chief Executive Officer, CEO, is the person responsible for creating this corporate culture. The culture that views the organization as discovering and profitably filling customer needs. This means that the organization cannot be self-centered. It must look outward to the consumers. But human nature tends to be self-centered. So the CEO must push this idea into every nook and cranny in the organization. The CEO must do this continuously and with leadership that excites and stimulates everyone. Otherwise, the company will look inward and become a series of pigeonholed parts with no consolidating sense of purpose of direction. That's a quick look at marketing myopia. Thanks for watching.